Welcome to Blueprint for a New Reality. It's a webinar about the current trends and happenings in the roofing industry. Today we're going to discuss CRMs. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our panel so we can jump right in. We've got Nathan Higgs.
Hi, I'm Nathan with Labor Connect, here to help with different understandings of technology and how we can help you with labor.
And Jason Sloan.
I'm Jason Sloan. I'm the Business Development Specialist at Furtado Law Solutions. We're the first supplement company backed by attorneys.
John DeRosa, the Lion King. Is that what it's called? Tiger King.
John DeRosa, SRS Distribution. How's everybody doing?
And Bill Higgs.
Bill Higgs, Sales Manager of Labor Connect, Crew Sourcing and Production Management.
And then our CRM expert for the day, Jeff, is it Wisniewski?
Jeff Wisniewski. I'm the president and founder of Giddyup, and not in the Lion King movie or connected whatsoever.
It's Tiger King, just to be
Tiger King. Lion King, Tiger King. Somebody.
Timon and Pumbaa here.
We do encourage all of our viewers to send in questions on Facebook. I'll be monitoring and we can shoot them out. But we're going to kick it off with the fellas asking Jeff some questions.
Sounds good.
All right.
You want to start?
Yeah. So, Jeff, what gave you the idea for Giddyup and how does your company work?
Great question. So I started out my career early. When I was 16, I worked for a excavation company. We had 10 different specialty trade contractors and worked my way out of the field and ended up in the IT department writing software for them. And what I saw across all of our companies was that software, whether it's estimating or the different pieces to run the software, people would buy this and then they put it on the shelf because at the end of the day, it didn't do or it didn't function the way that they wanted. So fast forward a couple of years later, I go through and I had a couple of different offerings, different companies that I was involved in, and we were looking at building software back for contractors. And we started up, we came up with Giddyup, and the original tagline was software so simple it's actually used. And the whole goal was, how do we take software and fit the software to the company instead of the company to the software? So that's kind of where it evolved from, where it came from, the original origins.
Okay, and I have a follow-up question. So with all the software options that roofers have, what puts Giddyup as, what's the difference? What makes it so unique?
That's a good question too. I think that if you were on one of my earlier webcasts with John DeRosa at SRS, I talk about the secret sauce. And, I believe that every company should have their own secret sauce to how they do business. Giddyup's secret sauce is that we really fit that software to the company, not the company to the software, and how we provide our service. So we really, our goal is to work with our clients more as a trusted advisor and as a partner than as a vendor. Because quite honestly, if we're going through and you're running your business using our software, and we're everything from the beginning of the process with canvassing, we're the only CRM with our own canvassing built right into our product, that whole sales funnel all the way through job production, material ordering, we're very pleased to be integrated with SRS and the whole Roof Hub suite of products to help a contractor bring in the materials. If you're using us to run your whole business and you go through and you buy online and you don't have any interaction with us, or you're using us and you're going through and growing your business, solving other challenges, and you're not engaged with us, quite honestly, we failed. So I think that's kind of where, we've evolved. I used to run a managed service company, and we did quarterly business review with our clients. We've kind of taken that model to the roofing space, where some of our clients we meet with, even 15-minute call once a week, just to have our pulse on what they're doing and what challenges they have, because our model is a little bit different. We're kind of connected with them more as a partner than a vendor.
Brings up a question I've got, Jeff. You know, I see a lot of people talking on Facebook and, you know, the inklings that maybe Pat Nussbeck and Aspen bought you or started your company with you. You know, is there any truth to that? I would assume that he might be a client of yours, but you know, does he own you guys, or is he a heavy investor in Giddyup?
That didn't take long for that to come out. No, we see that pop up quite a bit. Pat was somebody that, you know, Pat Nussbeck has been a customer of ours for the last 5 years. That's really where it begins and where it ends. You know, we had roofing contractors. So Giddyup works for all different industries. We've actually have lumber yards and, you know, all different granite countertop installation, electrical. Anybody could use Giddyup. We run our whole business in it. 5 years ago, Pat from Aspen came to us and he was interested in using us. And that's where a lot of the features and the ideas, you know, came from, where he had his feelings about software. And our approach is, since we're trying to fit the software to the company, we take a lot of those and go through and build it. That's why we built the Canvasser. But that's where it begins and ends. Pat and the whole Nussbeck family, while they've been clients and that for years, there is no ownership at all. We're a privately held company. We have a number of investors that have invested. Most of them are in the manufacturing or engineering space. There's no ties to roofing. So I always laugh when we see that. You know, Pat's been very gracious about recording videos and talking about our system and how things work. But that's where it begins and stops. I mean, you know, we all know about the internet conspiracy theories. This was unfortunately not one of them.
Yeah, Pat's a great guy. You know, I've known LC for a long time. You know, the Nussbecks, they have a keen eye on how everything works for the roofing industry. I owe a lot of my process and, you know, my drive to them. So, you know, I completely respect that.
I think that one thing that's interesting is, you know, we've had the privilege of working with, you know, the whole Nussbeck family. We have a relationship with Tim Nussbeck now, who goes out, he owns Swift Services, and he does consulting for roofers, and he actually is an authorized reseller of Giddyup. He does go through and he'll promote us as he helps consult to how a roofer should do business. It's funny, the thing that we see, and I talk about some of the keys to success that we see from customers, every one of the Nussbecks has a drive and a belief in systems and making things repeatable. And I think that's where they've been so successful and been a fierce competitor. And obviously everybody in the industry, you know, they're a figure. Everybody has different figures and either loves them or hates them and could be polarized. You know, they're very polarizing name. We've been privileged to have them as a customer because they're very demanding and they make us better. And we're very thankful and appreciative of that.
That's a great way to look at it. I just wanted to know if they're, you know, I see that on Facebook consistently. So
we laugh every time we see it. You know, there's people that come up with all kind of wild things. You know, people are always looking for, you know, what that next big conspiracy is. But
sure.
No, we're not owned by Pat or any Nussbeck or any roofer.
I'd be curious to know if right now during this, you know, pandemic, is there a different way that your customers are utilizing your system?
Yeah, good question. I don't know that I would say that there's a different way that they use it. I think the fact that we, you know, in Giddyup, we're not really a CRM. We're a workflow management system. So we have customers that use us from to manage all kind of processes, canvassing. We have some that use us for recruiting and onboarding employees, you know, onboarding contractors. So with us being so flexible like that, each customer is kind of a different implementation as they're using our software. What I can tell you since this COVID crisis, we've seen especially a lot of the roofers that are very process driven and very opportunistic. They're looking at this not as woe's me, I can't leave my house, I can't canvas. They're really looking, what are different ways that I could, run in today's world. So from our perspective, we have a homeowner portal that we call Customer Connect. We see a lot of people leveraging that, where they're going out, they're using, from a canvassing perspective, maybe they're not using Canvasser to knock door to door. Maybe they're going out and they're using Canvasser to document the homes with damage and kind of make a hit list for that. And then they're calling them, or they're using, web meetings. They're using Customer Connect, our portal, to get that homeowner online to be able to do a virtual walkthrough with them. So we're obviously seeing Zoom and Microsoft Teams, people delivering that way. I would say that all of the features that we have in our product, we're really good at connecting people, whether they're manufacturers, distributors, customers, contractors. And I think our suite of tools helps everybody communicate very well. And we're seeing an increase in that. We're seeing a lot of training going on and a lot of retooling where maybe they say, hey, I haven't really used your electronic signatures. How do I roll that out in an easier fashion? Or how do I handle bringing that internally and standing up more of a call center approach? So we're doing a lot of, having a lot of conversations like that, helping our customers.
And if I piggyback off it a little bit, it seems to me like right now is a great time, right? We talked about previously about training and implementing new things right now and really taking advantage of that. What do you do, or what do you do to help your clients maximize the usage of your system to gain, all the value?
Yeah, that's great. What we don't want to do is be a system where somebody buys it and they're kind of half pregnant, right? So that's a challenge. We have our support team is called Customer Success. And I think one of the things that's different about us is that customer success team really has a help desk component for people to call in with questions. We definitely still encourage that. I'd say we're one of the few people that are not trying to find ways for customers not to interact with us. We love when customers pick up the phone and call us, and we support them that way. We have our onboarding team that goes through and helps you get trained and get onboarded into the system and make Giddyup your own. And then that last piece in customer success is that ongoing kind of that account management. And that's where we have people that now are focused on how is this customer performing and looking for new ways. When we release new software, great, we're proactively calling people and saying, boy, I know you do a lot of retail work. Here's a new feature that could help you. Let me give you a quick tour and let's talk about how we can roll it out in your business.
Very cool.
So those, again, it's a different theory where we want to be, we don't want to be a vendor, we want to be a partner. So going through and doing that value add where we're having conversations, that's the best way, because that's how they're going to maximize the use of their software and their investment.
So, I know that I've seen some of your product out there. I know Justin Woodruff is commenting. I think the biggest thing that a lot of guys need to really think about on when they're looking at a CRM this time of year, or when they're looking at a new CRM, what functions does it have? What does it cost as additional products to make my product work? I think, I don't know. I believe my answer, the answer to my question is going to be, we don't. But do you charge for the integrations of, Canvasser and the integrations of, doing the DocuSign and all that stuff and the photos inside your program? Do you charge for each individual one of those, or is that just a package deal? It's the same price to use all those pieces and parts as a unit, since you're doing a partnership with the company?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I think, we used to be a typical model where we would charge per user and we would charge per feature. So you would pay a certain price for each user of Canvasser. You would pay another price for users of Giddyup if you have multiple locations. You had all these upgrades. And quite honestly, what we found was it was just as painful for us as a software vendor as it was for our customer. It was so confusing. We're one company. We have all these different options. And it always put us in a realm where we felt like customers looked at us like we were nickel and diming them. We always had our hand out. The other thing was that with contracting being seasonal, maybe not all over the country, but in Cleveland, Ohio, there's a number of months where you're not putting on roofs. So what we did was we tried to align ourselves and really fully drink that Kool-Aid and say, if a contractor is going through and they're in their down months, why should they be paying us? And if they have canvassers, we saw people making hard choices where they wanted to grow and expand their business, but they didn't want to pay all the software licenses and all the costs to onboard that employee. So we looked at that and we abandoned our whole pricing model and changed it to a transactional model. So we charge per job, and that price includes all the functionality. So we don't charge for individual pieces piecemeal. So as an example, you have unlimited, you sign up for Giddyup, you have unlimited users, you have unlimited locations. When you win a job, that's when we bill you. So we charge $55 per job that you win. So what that does is really ties us at the cash register with our customers. That's why we make such the investment in our customer success team. That's why we make such the investment in our product, building the features that we can before, people would look at you like you're nuts. If we could make somebody, we took one company that had 40 production managers in market down to 5 running in a central location. Well, if we were charging per user, why would we be incented to do that?
Correct.
What we're incented now is how do we help you close more work, get those jobs through the system, because that's how we're gonna get paid. So that's a different model. We definitely have integrations with other companies, EagleView and the company cams and all those of the world. Depending on relationships that we have with them, there may or may not be fees associated with that. But oftentimes what you're seeing is, EagleView, you put in your account credentials, you tie to your account, that's with EagleView. They're a separate company than us, right? So in the Giddyup world, you go out, hire as many canvassers as you can, knock on doors, they sell the job. Soon as that job is won, now we charge you the $55 and that's the only fee.
That sounds like a great business model to me.
I think it makes things simpler. I mean, everybody, software typically has been per user or per something, and, long-term contracts, with ours, you don't have a contract. So there's no period or term you're signing up for. You're able to get in if you're, it's kind of funny how it turned out, but look, we're COVID-friendly pricing. So our customers are out there right now. We feel the same pain. If they're not putting on roofs, we're not charging them. At the same point, they don't have to worry about, getting a bill every month from us for their whole sales team or their whole, crew of all these users. They're not paying that. If they win a job, they pay the fee. So it's more fair. It's a different model, and we've been very happy with it, and so have our customers.
I have a quick question. With that being said, if somebody's moving from one software to you guys and they have old jobs, they're already done and it's just tracking it, how does that all work with the pricing model?
Yeah, so we don't charge. When we migrate that data over, typically you see in a migration strategy or plan, you have two types of data. You have data that's closed and stale, and it's more for archival and ongoing use. And then you have data that's in production or in the flow. So if it's something that you're going through and it's in the flow, let's say you're managing and you have a number of jobs that you're just going through and starting up in the process, those charges would be billed because you're going through and you're using all those features and you're doing that. Migrating over all the other data, no, we don't charge for that. It's, you know, we've built tools and process and strategy to help customers move from one system or from paper and pen or from Dropbox or you name it. We make it as easy as we can for you to get your data in there, get you set up, and make it as easy as it is to use, right? So no fee for importing, you know, closed jobs, archival data at all.
Yep.
Great.
John, do you have a question?
Yeah, I mean, I have a question and a comment. Tiger King is.
Oh man, here it comes. First of all, John and I, you both saw that last week. John and I said we would both shave our heads, and I fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, not happening, right?
So here's the deal. I mean, I know that Giddyup is an integration partner with RoofHub, and based on and we love that, right? But based on all the conversations that I've had with contractors in the industry, I always hear nothing but amazing things about Giddyup. So I just want to kind of give you a plug. One of the things that I constantly hear is the fact that they're not like a one-stop solution where this is what we've developed and you've got to make it work. I mean, they are extremely customer-oriented and receptive to you having ideas and here's what I might need specifically to help me grow my business or to solve a particular issue. And I think that that's the kind of relationship that you need today when you're dealing with such an integral part of your business. One of the things I wanted to ask Jeff is, Jeff, of all the compliments that you've ever gotten from customers and what you do, I mean, which is the one that you're most proud of?
There was a customer that we went up to in Wyoming, and this was one that Swift had brought us. And it was a smaller company that was working to grow. And we went there and I walk in and I was introduced and it was a husband wife. And she said, "Is this the technology guy?" And I said, "Yeah." And she gave me a hug and literally started tearing up and said that we saved her business. And then she stopped back and she said, "You know what? You saved my marriage." Right. And it was interesting. We've never thought of Giddyup as a marital aid. But I think what it turns into is when you're going through and you're helping somebody, a lot of times with all this technology, everything's thrown. And, I laugh because some in the industry go through and say that roofers are slow to adopt technology. And, there's Catalyst Group is formed talking about how do we help roofers get into technology. And really, I say there's so much technology out there. The harder part is you have all these systems. You have to be a rocket scientist to tie them all together. So you could build this in any different ways, and there's ways to tie things together. That's all great, but what happens when it doesn't work, right? What happens when you have that piece? So the fact that this customer was able to go through and we took enough pressure off, because oftentimes you have a husband-wife team and somebody's running the back office and somebody's out there, roofing and selling. And we put just as much time and energy in the building systems and features and process and helping in the back end as we are in the front end. And that just made me feel so good that we were able to help somebody like that. It was, when you work from a small company all the way out to the large national ones, it's good that we could fit in for everybody and make a difference, make an impact in somebody's life. That was probably the best comment I've ever seen.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
That's cool.
I want to give John a plug back to SRS and RoofHub. Right. And they've been a partner now for over a year. And it's amazing. So when we're talking about being a partner versus being a vendor, and our approach, I think that when you're integrating all these systems together, when you find somebody that has those same values and core beliefs on how you're doing, I think that's outstanding. And that's what makes the Roof Hub integration so good, because Patrick Garcia and Pete Bachman and that whole team over there is so focused on innovation and how do we make it easier for our customers. And, you know, just as configurable as we are, that's how configurable. I mean, I literally have the ability to pick up the phone and call Patrick and that whole development team. If I say, hey, this is a problem we're trying to solve for ordering, they are on it and very receptive. And, you know, it's so similar. It's been outstanding. And
sounds like more of a plug for Patrick than for me. You said it was about me.
Well, from your perspective, going through and helping contractors actually use that. So you have people that build it, you have people that train it and talk about it and are able to get it out there. So yeah, so it's definitely a Patrick plug, but it's also a John DeRosa plug.
All right.
Going through and rolling that out and getting it to people. A lot of computer geeks could build awesome software, but if it sits on the shelf and nobody uses it and can't apply it, what good is it, right? That's where John comes in.
We're at a closing time. Jeff, do you have anything else you want to add, or guys, do you want to bring up anything else?
I would just want Jeff. Why don't you just mention how do people get in touch with you, or does that? I don't know.
So we're going to send out a link again. So you'll have all my contact info. Again, being your partner, I'm available 24/7. Most of our customers are calling me on their cell phone, you know, around the clock. We'll have my information available to you. We're going to send out, there'll be a link to the blueprintfornewreality.com. All of the episodes that we've been doing are posted there. You can click on this episode, fill in your information. We're going to go through. We'll send you more information about Giddyup and anything that we can do. Rebekah is on the front lines with us. Anything that we can do for you, help you out, or if you want to bounce any questions, please let us know.
Sounds wonderful, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, it's been a great April. We're ready for the United States to come back to the new norm, and you know, we're all here for you.
Well, we just need some more hail now, right? I mean, it's finally starting to pick up.
It's finally starting to drop some. Yep.
Love it.
Get away from cornfields, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We might need to get Derek on to do a dance.
I think so.
although if you get those farmer houses, sometimes those with the big metal roofs, you can get a couple $100,000.
Done some good ones. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's close it up. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.